Live from the Scripps Studios, this is 10 News.
San Diego just reported its highest daily jump in coronavirus cases so far as California logs its deadliest day. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kimberly Hunt. And here are the other developments we're following tonight. Oceanside city leaders are demanding control over their own beaches, claiming they can't wait for the county to reopen its economy. Human rights groups fight to get masks to detainees who say they're in danger at the Otay Mesa Detention Center. Plus, we're less than a week after hundreds protested closures in Encinitas, the major walking trail's about to reopen tomorrow. But first, today, San Diego County is reporting 152 new cases of coronavirus as testing ramps up. It's the biggest number reported in a single day so far. And county leaders say it should be a reminder to everyone to be careful as we consider reopening our businesses and our schools.
We need to follow the medical data and federal and state reopening guidelines. Please remember that we're dealing with a deadly, contagious disease that scientists are still learning a lot about. We can't afford to act recklessly and without a plan, only to suffer a huge setback that will prolong all of our misery and agony. So let's stay the course, San Diego. Short-term pain for long-term gain. We ask for your help and cooperation.
2 more drive-through testing centers will soon open in Escondido and Chula Vista. This is in addition to the drive-through center in Mission Valley. The county says this will handle the potential patients who are referred by doctors, and appointments are required in these centers. The new centers will open Monday. Today was also the deadliest day so far in California. Today, the governor reported 115 new deaths in the state, along with a 5.6% increase in cases in just 24 hours. The governor is warning Californians not to get complacent as the weather gets warm. He wants people to avoid beaches and the crowded trails and maintain social distancing. The search for treatments for COVID-19 continues tonight. Nearly 50,000 people in the U.S. have now died in this pandemic. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez has the latest on the impact in this country and updates from today's coronavirus task force briefing.
In the fight to contain the spread of COVID-19, the Department of Homeland Security sharing new findings from an emerging study.
Our most striking observation to date is the powerful effect that solar light appears to have on killing the virus, both surfaces and in the air. Summer-like conditions are going to create an environment where the transmission can be decreased.
President Trump reacting, suggesting unproven treatments.
Supposing you brought the light inside the body, which you can do either through the skin or in some other way. And then I see the disinfectant where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside?
DHS warning Americans against changing their behaviors based on the study, and experts stressing that cleaning products, including bleach, should never be ingested or injected.
The president mentioned the idea of cleaners, the bleach and isopropyl alcohol you mentioned. There's no scenario that could be injected into a person, is there?
No,
The president also saying social distancing recommendations could potentially be extended into the summer, while continuing his criticism of Georgia's governor, who's moving forward with plans to allow many businesses, including bowling alleys and beauty salons, to reopen this Friday.
I said, you do what you think is best. But if you ask me, am I happy about it? I'm not happy about it.
But some business owners there staying shuttered, concerned about the virus's spread as the death toll continues climbing in some states, including California.
Yesterday was the deadliest day for this virus in this state. 115 human beings lost their lives.
Senator Elizabeth Warren's brother among those killed by the virus in Oklahoma. And in New York, a preliminary antibody study showing the pandemic's impact may be even broader than first believed, showing 1 in 5 New York City residents may have been infected, many without knowing. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Oceanside city leaders want to be able to control their own timeline when it comes to reopening their city and beaches. They say they can't wait for the county to make the decision. 10 News reporter Anthony Pura spoke with a council member who says the economic burdens are hitting the tipping point.
Oceanside city leaders say fighting the spread of coronavirus and flattening the curve has come at a price.
Down is creating a new curve, and that curve is unemployment, and that curve is loss of essential city revenues.
Oceanside City Council member Christopher Rodriguez says that's why they're demanding county health officials amend the county health orders regarding COVID-19. They want them to allow each city to decide when beaches, parks, and businesses can reopen, and they want the ability to do that by May 1st. Bottom line, Rodriguez thinks more businesses should be up and running.
You can walk into a Walmart and buy clothes or get your tires changed. You should have the capacity to do anything that is similar. You can go to a Kohl's. Why can't you go into a Kohl's right now? Why can't you go buy a car right now?
Coastal cities have a phased plan to reopen their beaches together once they get the green light from county health officials. Rodriguez agrees with the plan, but doesn't think it should be up to the county. Beaches are areas of concern for social distancing. 10 News viewers took images of Sunset Cliffs after San Diego parks reopened. Crowds flocking to the area, ignoring social distancing guidelines. Rodriguez says there will always be people that step out of line, but they should not ruin it for the majority that do follow the rules.
We have the capacity to enforce social distancing. I think Oceanside residents understand this dynamic.
The county has not returned 10 News' request for comment regarding Oceanside's demands, but spoke about the path to reopening at Thursday's news conference.
We want to get folks back to work, but we have to ensure that we are doing it under the guidance of the federal threshold that's been outlined, under the direction of the state criteria that have been outlined.
Anthony Pura, 10 News.
The Coastal Rail Trail and walking path on Highway 101 will reopen tomorrow in Encinitas. This is after protests in the area last weekend. City leaders in Encinitas say social distancing of at least 6 feet is still mandatory. They strongly recommend people wear facial coverings, and people on the trails need to keep moving and avoid congestion and grouping. The city says anyone violating those rules could face arrest and up to a $1,000 fine. A San Diego small business owner filed a class action lawsuit against JP Morgan Chase, claiming that it gave stimulus loans to big businesses and not first come, first served. Rebecca Hyde Edwards owns Hyde Edwards Salon and Spa. The salon had to close its doors under the stay-at-home order. Nearly 50 people are out of work, and Rebecca says she applied for the government's Paycheck Protection Program and tried to get the loan through her bank, JP Morgan Chase, but that didn't happen. Her lawsuit claims that the bank chose to not disclose to small business owners it was prioritizing larger business loans. And the lawsuit claims that the bank did not follow the PPP's official guidelines of first come, first served.
I would have been able to start getting all of my employees back on payroll. And then, some of them are salaried. And then not only that, I would be able to do something with my landlords towards the rent.
Chase did not tell Rebecca, and they did not tell any of their customers that they were going to proceed in a manner that would prioritize certain businesses over smaller businesses.
A spokesperson for JP Morgan says they cannot comment on the lawsuit. A spokesperson tells 10 News they have secured more funding for small businesses than any other lender so far. The bank says the vast majority of the PPP loans that they secured went to smaller business clients. Happening tomorrow, a number of human rights organizations will attempt to donate 1,000 face masks to the Otay Mesa Detention Center. The center has the second highest number of COVID-19 cases among detainees anywhere in the country. As our 10 News reporter Laura Acevedo shows us, the donation comes after migrants say they weren't given proper protection while in custody.
As of Thursday evening, 42 detainees have tested positive for COVID-19 at the Otay Mesa Detention Center.
It's just not a place where anyone can practice any sort of real-time physical distancing.
Friday, a group of human and migrant rights groups will attempt to donate face masks to those held at the center.
People are really scared. They're really frightened for their lives, especially because there are people that have that are compromised in terms of their immune systems.
Pedro Rios is with the American Friends Service Committee, one of the organizations collecting the masks. Rios says the detainees have complained about not getting proper facial coverings.
And only when they sign the document is when they've been given a face mask.
Last week, CoreCivic, who runs the facility, told 10 News no signed waiver will be required to receive a mask, saying face masks were issued to every individual in their care at Otay Mesa. Still, the group hopes to make the donation on Friday.
Most of them will be masks made out of cloth. Some of them have several barriers that are part of how the masks are made.
8 ICE employees and 16 CoreCivic employees have also tested positive for the virus. 10 News reached out to CoreCivic to find out if the donation would be accepted. They referred us to ICE, and a representative told us they were looking into it.
In this case, what makes sense is to receive the face masks and provide them to anyone who needs them inside.
Laura Acevedo, 10 News.
The donation is scheduled for 2:30 tomorrow afternoon. A former pro skateboarder who raped and killed a woman in Carlsbad will not get parole after all. 10 News was at the hearing last year when Mark Rogowski was recommended to be released. Rogowski admitted killing Jessica Bergston in 1991 and then burying her body in the desert. Today, Governor Gavin Newsom reversed the parole, although Rogowski remains eligible in the future.